Hey, feel I'm in the mood for a switch up. I hit the function, hit the rose till I hiccup. I hit the stage and leave with money that's a stick up. She picture perfect, so I told him I'm a flick up.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Life with Grit. This is also day 3 of 75 Hard. My name is Jerit.
My name is Nick, and today we have a couple questions we got from some emails, so I'm going to get right to it. First question, Jerit. Do you see yourself as a hunter or a gatherer? And you might want to explain what this is before we dive into it. So I'm going to pass it over to Jerit and see what he has to say.
I would actually say that there is a hunter slash gatherer, like a hybrid unit, and then a gatherer. So a hunter is someone who is going to see basically any foreshadow of an opportunity and start to pursue it. They're going to they'll make opportunities happen if they have to. They are the risk takers. Then there is the just straight up gatherer. That is someone who is meticulous. They're probably more content at where they're at in life, and they're not as willing to take risks because they are comfortable. They will analyze their surroundings and honestly pull from those, whereas a hunter will make their situation change in order for opportunities to come their way. So if you look at this from, say, like a caveman perspective, the gatherer is going to go outside the cave and they're just going to grab sticks and stones that are right there. And then the hunter is going to go, over the next hill and see what's there. He's going to go to a place that is not known, a place that is uncomfortable. So then a hunter slash gatherer is someone who is going to do both of those. They're going to analyze the situation, think about the consequences of their actions, and determine whether or not that risk is actually worth taking or not. So I would say for me personally, I probably align with the hybrid unit. I've always been a meticulous person, but I've always been willing, I would say even more so lately, to look at what other opportunities they're out there for me to further myself. So how about you, Nick? Which one do you think you are?
Yeah, Jerit. So I would consider myself pretty much like a 60-40 hunter-gatherer. Basically, my whole life growing up, I was kind of a gatherer. I had opportunities that I wasn't willing to take, whether it's being a leader. That was a big one. There's plenty of positions I could have done as a leader, but decided to sit back and kind of watch things happen, unfold, instead of stepping up to the plate and making things happen. But now, since I've been growing up out of the house on my own, I've definitely seen more of the hunter side of me, taking bigger risks I've never even thought about before. Basically, whether it's relationships, buying stuff, leading,
Starting your own business,
starting that, doing this podcast, putting myself out there, being more vulnerable, stuff like that. So I kind of see myself being more of a hunter than a gatherer, but I do realize that there is a very important role of a gatherer. And I think that you can't miss that step because that's ultimately what's going to get you far, I think, in life. So that's kind of where I sit, man.
Yeah, no, I like that. I like the percentages. So I would say for me personally, like I'm a 50-50. I definitely probably used to lean more on the gatherer side, like I said. But as Nick mentioned, a gatherer is important as well. I'm not saying one is more important than the other. We need every single aspect of this in society. I would say it's awesome to be a hunter slash gatherer, to be like a hybrid. And we honestly probably all fall into that when you look at certain categories in life. But that for me is what I want to pursue, is to be like just a strong hybrid of the two. So you got another question for me over there, man?
So second question, Jerit. At which point was there a pivotal time in your life that you had to switch mindsets from a hunter? I know you kind of tapped on it, but go a little bit further to explain at which point in your life specifically did you switch mindsets?
Correct. So if you listen to the previous podcast, I did mention that within the past year or so, stuff changed in my life. So kind of talking about what I did before, stuff occurred in my life that I did not think I was going to ever have to deal with. And that being said, I had to be a hunter at that point. I was a gatherer, but I had to become a hunter because I had to make an opportunity happen. I needed to honestly go outside of my comfort zone. So to go specifically into that, I won't like get into my personal life per se, because, it's my personal life. So I came over to my church, where I'm currently like very involved with now, but I knew no one. That is nothing I would have ever done before. I mean, I would have gone to a church, but I put myself in an uncomfortable situation. I didn't know anyone. I came in, just kind of was there. But I began to talk to people because I realized like this is what I need to do, right? I need to start making new friendships, relationships in my life. That way things could turn around for me. So I would say for me, that was a big pivotal moment is when I decided honestly that like I needed to go to my now church, and it was new to me at that point because I simply needed, as we mentioned in a previous podcast, that I needed to surround myself with better people. So I was looking for that new opportunity at that point. I was hunting for a new opportunity rather than being content or comfortable sitting at home, which is what I was doing before. So Nick, any key moment for you in your life where something changed?
Yeah, Jerit. So me, I was always headed down this typical path that everyone says you should go down, go to college, get a degree, do all this stuff. And I wanted more than that. I wanted to step outside my comfort zone. And that's where I became a hunter, truthfully. I've had some opportunities come up in my life because of that. I kind of put myself out there in some ways. And whether it was people, whether it was an online interaction, whether it was something of that sort, but I kind of just put myself out there, and then opportunities started opening up for me. Instead of the more gatherer side of me, like that switched around. I became more of a hunter side. I finally got to see that in myself, and it felt good. Like to reach that other side of me that I've really never seen before or was never taught to use before. That was super fun for me to do. And I'm still doing it today. I'm always going to do it. And it feels awesome. Like someone told me senders are always rewarded. So that's where I'm kind of at, dude.
I like it. Full send. So you would say that honestly that you've kind of more so found out who you are as a person now?
Yeah, I truly do think that. I feel like this is where I want to be. I kind of want to be on the edge of, is this the right thing to do or not? But I'm going to do it anyways because I want to learn. Like I'm not scared of failure. I'm not scared to, fall on my face flat. Like that's kind of fun for me. I kind of dig it. I learn way more than I would have not doing it and just gathering sticks around the cave,
Yeah. And like we said, you need someone to do that too. But for him personally, the hunter side of him is what makes him feel alive. And I've seen that honestly grow in him over the past year, and it's been really cool. And same thing for me. I found out who I was as a person within the past year, and what an opportunity that we, like both Nick and I, have had to truly start to discover who we are as a person. So I feel like a lot of people are sitting there questioning who they are. And again, Nick and I don't know exactly. We just feel that we have really begun to learn who we are, versus I know before I felt like I don't have a clue who I am as a person. So we've been truly blessed by the opportunity to do that. And to go along with that, so like today in church, I was teaching Sunday school. And when we met as a large group, one of the questions that was asked was, do you look in the mirror? Like who looks in the mirror and loves what they see? And guess what? No one raised their hand. I did, but I'm a leader. So like I didn't like fire it way up. But I honestly, truthfully can look in the mirror right now and be like, man, I am happy with what I see. And I'm not even talking physically. I am not a complete stud physically yet. We're going to get there, right? Like I'm excited for that one. But I truly love who I am as a person now. And one of the things they asked you was like list out some things you like about yourself. And like one of them was physical. Honestly, what I like about myself physically is I have the ability to change myself physically. I think that's the coolest perspective of like the physical being. I actually have control over it. Like I said last podcast, I have control over what goes in my mouth. I really didn't feel like that before, but I learned that. So that is basically where I land when I think about, do I know who I am as a person? We're still getting there, but basically I know the direction I'm headed is the right one for me at this point. I don't know what I'm doing in life yet or anything like that, but I'm just happy with who I am as a person because of the risks I've taken, because I have taken some hunter opportunities while also having the gatherer mindset of how is this going to affect me in the present and in the future? And honestly, like if I have a family later, how is it going to affect them as well, or my friends? Anything else you got for me, Nick?
Yeah. So the last question we're going to get to today is, what benefits, if any, are there to surrounding yourself with people of different mindsets?
That is a wonderful question. There are plenty of benefits to surrounding yourself with people of differing mindsets. In fact, I would say there are more benefits to surrounding yourself at times with people who have differing mindsets than those who have the same one. It is always important to have people who have similar mindsets to you and are willing to push you. But I would also say the hunter versus a gatherer is not complete opposite mindsets, right? That doesn't mean you have different values. So Nick leans more on the hunter side than I do, but we have the same values in life still. So I think it's important to note that you should always surround yourself with people of similar values. And that doesn't mean politically or anything like that. Just simply someone who is going to help guide you through life and help make sure you are doing the things you should be doing. So in regards to hunter-gatherer mindset, let's say I'm a hunter. I might be a person that just goes off. Like if I'm 100% hunter, goes off and just takes risks, right? Because we're going to take every opportunity we can to get somewhere. Honestly, you still do need to live. So it might be important to have a gatherer to keep you in check, to be like, hey, is that really a smart choice? You know, for example, financially, if you fail at this, are you going to be able to continue to live, honestly, a sustainable lifestyle? And that sustainable lifestyle might even be keeping food on the table at that point. Now, if you are a gatherer, it is also important to be friends with, say, a hunter, because a gatherer is going to be content at where they're at in life, but they might not sharpen their skills like we have talked about in past podcasts because they are just simply content at where they're at. A gatherer might be someone who goes to work and then goes home, and they're content at where they're at in life, but they might not be sharpening their skills to their fullest extent. So if you have a hunter as a friend, they may recognize like, hey, if you really work on that, you could do something. You could make an opportunity with that. So I think that's really important. And again, I think a lot of us kind of cross the threshold between a hunter and a gatherer when it pertains to certain situations. But that's kind of my answer to that third question. So Nick, do you have anything on that there's any benefits to being around someone who has differing mindsets from yourself?
So if we look at this from a business aspect, I think it's important to have an entrepreneur via hunter and a entrepreneur via gatherer. I think they both feed off of each other. I think it's important to have both, and they both need each other. So at the end of the day, everybody needs each other to help push each other to that next level. And I think it's important because I don't want Jerit to have this wonderful, awesome talent and him not even knowing that he could use it to benefit other people. I'm going to push him to another level to get him to where he could be or where he may want to be. So I think it's important to keep each other in check.
Yeah, well said, right? Like, I don't want you to go off and blow all your money. Not that you would. No, I'd agree, because I'm definitely more of a gatherer. You have helped push me more towards the hunter side. And then sometimes I feel like I'm the voice of reason a little bit. Like, all right, man, like, take a step back. What do you think about this situation? So there's a clear example right there. While we're both hunters and gatherers, Nick leads more on the hunter side. I lean more on the gatherer side. So we keep each other in check. So there's a perfect, real application of it's important to be around each other of differing mindsets when it comes to taking opportunities or not. So with that, we're going to close out this episode of Life with Grit. Guys, if you like the show, please share it. We are not asking for any monetary form for putting the show on. It's something Nick and I are just simply enjoying, but we do hope it reaches people. So if you like the show, share it. If you don't, or if there's something you didn't like, or honestly, if you did like it, let us know. So Nick, how can they contact us?
You can contact us by email at asklifewithgrit@gmail.com, or you can shoot us up a DM on Instagram at life_with_grit. So feel free to reach out at any given point. Ask us any questions. Like I said, we got some good questions already. So with that, I think we're going to close out. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Stay tuned for the next upload, and we'll catch you guys later.
See ya.
Hey, Bill, I'm in the mood for a switch up. I hit the function, hit the rose till I hiccup. I hit the stage and leave with money that's a stick up. She picture perfect, so I told him I'm a flick up.